Now, many of you have been asking that what happens when the king can't move in chess? Well, if such a thing happens, then there are possible three scenarios. The first scenario is checkmate. So here, white plays rook to b8 check. Now, since the king is in check, he must move. But where should he move? He can come to this square, neither to this square, because these squares are now under the control of the white's rook. So in such a scenario, when the king is in check and he is unable to make a legal move in his defense, then this scenario is called as the checkmate in the game. That means black has lost the game. Let's look at one more example. Here, white plays knight f6 check. Since the king is in check, he must make a move. But as you can see, he doesn't have any space to move because he is surrounded by his own pieces. Also, he is unable to capture this knight over here because this pawn is pinned to the king by the white queen. So therefore, since the king is not able to do anything in his defense and he is in check, therefore the game has been checkmated. Black has lost the game. Let's look at another scenario. What if the king is not in check and he is not able to make any move? So for example, here it is black's turn to move. But black king cannot go to these squares because both of these squares are controlled by the white's king as well as white's queen. Also, black king cannot go to this square because even this square is being controlled by the white's queen. So since it is black's turn to move in the game, he is unable to move. So, is this a checkmate? Well, no, because here the black king is not in check, and since the black king is not in check and he is unable to make any legal move in the game, therefore the game has been stalemated. Now, what is a stalemate? Stalemate means it would be a draw. So here the game has been stalemated and now white player and black player will share equal points. Let's look at one more example. Here it is black's turn to move. So, is this game stalemated? Well, no, because although the king cannot move anywhere, but black still has a pawn which can move forward in the game. So, since black has a legal move in the game is not stalemated. Now, let's look at another scenario. What if the king cannot move, but he has legal moves to play? So, if you look at this scenario, the white king is stuck in the corner of the board and he cannot move to these squares because they are occupied by his own army pieces, and he cannot move to this square because this square is currently being controlled by black's bishop. So here is a scenario where the king cannot move, but since he has lot of other pieces in the game which he can move anywhere wherever he desires to, so this game is neither checkmated nor stalemated. So it's a normal game. Basically, the game is still going on. Now, since you have understood all the three scenarios of what happens when the king can move, let's try to solve some puzzles based on that. So, here is the first puzzle. Black's queen has given check to the white king and now it is white's turn to play. So, is this game checkmated? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. Well, we know that the king cannot move, but the game is not checkmated because white can very well block this check by his bishop. So the bishop would come here and now the attack of black's queen has been blocked by this bishop. So the king is no longer in check and the game is not checkmated. Now let's look at the second puzzle. Here it is black's turn to play and you have to tell me whether this game has been stalemated. I'll give you 5 seconds to think. Well, the answer is yes, the game is stalemated because the black king cannot go to any of these squares because all of these squares are under white's control. Also, black do have 2 pawns with him, but both of these pawns have been blocked by the white's pawns. So these pawns are unable to make any advance in the game. So here, since it is black's turn to play and black king is not in any check, he has not been threatened at all. But at the same time, he doesn't have any legal moves to play in the game. It is therefore the game has been stalemated. And before moving on to the third puzzle, I want you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And now here is the third puzzle. Here it is white's turn to play and you have to tell me, is white stalemated? Your time starts now. Well, the white is not stalemated in the game because white still has a pawn which he can move forward. Although the white king cannot move to any of these squares because all of these squares are under black's control. Also, this pawn cannot move forward because he is being blocked by the bishop, but white still has one pawn which can go forward. So, since white has a legal move in the game, so therefore this game is not stalemated. Here, black has just checked the white's king and you have to tell me if the white king has been checkmated. Comment with a yes or a no and I'll see you in the next video.